Cancer. Just the thought of it can keep you up at night.
It keeps us up too.
Working around the clock.
Looking for new ways to fight.
So we've teamed up with MD Anderson Cancer Network.
That's a program of MD Anderson Cancer Center.
This means we'll have more treatment options,
more experts, and more clinical trials.
Now, it's cancer's turn to be scared.
Every day is another beginning. Gonna make my move, gonna live my dream. Gonna make my move, gonna live my dream. Gonna make my move, gonna live my dream.
We're up.
Back inside the Trenton Arena this afternoon, Mike Kern and Sly Williams, and it's a tremendous matchup between the 9-2 Garfield Heights Bulldogs out of Garfield Heights, Ohio, taking on the Upper Arlington Golden Bears, the number 9 team in the state of Ohio, who have just one loss against their 11 wins. And they start off with the basketball first. You see them in the road blacks. And they go quickly, and here's a kid we're going to talk a ton about, is Dane Goodwin, the future Ohio State Buckeye. Gets the first score of the game, and he comes up with the first rebound of the game. He averages 27 points a game through the first 12.
Yes, sir. He's one who can fill it up, man. I've been anxiously looking forward to seeing this kid play. I want to see what Ohio State has coming to him.
If Thad Mata's still there when he gets there. So the first two come for Goodwin. The next two come for Goodwin. Just in the last game, the weekend high is 29. Coming from Jerome Hunter, that might be in jeopardy. Long three from just outside the Cleveland area is where Marion Jackson, a senior, headed to play for the Rockets at the University of Toledo. That's where he might have thrown that one up from the Glass City itself.
The Glass City?
We'll see. Wow, way downtown.
None of these kids are afraid to launch from deep.
I said earlier on at the half we have a special guest in Zach Flyer from 270hoops.com coming up here. 270 is about where that shot came from.
Yeah.
The outer belt in Columbus from Dane Goodwin. Headed to play for the Buckeyes. It's kind of an odd thing. He averages right at 27 because a deep shot for Sean Christian. Headed to play his college basketball at Cleveland State University. He's got a high of just 35 this year.
Just 35, you know.
But he averages 27, so you would think that would be there would be a bigger separation there, but it just shows that he is a consistent scorer for the 11-1 Golden Bears. Three ball from straightaway won't go. Goodwin says, let me try that from the wing. No on that one as well. Goodwin's out there with Jordan Bailey, a College of Charleston dual recruit, as he'll play baseball and basketball in Charleston, West Virginia.
And they can't wait to see him down in John Kress Arena.
Andy Hummer as well. Will Grabovic, a 6-foot junior, and Max Martz, a 6'6 sophomore, who's averaging 9 points a game on the floor. Crossover from Marion Jackson. You see what the Rockets see in him and would love to have, or can't wait to have him, rather, I should say, in the MAC. And he is aggressive, he's quick, and he's got two.
Marion Jackson with that little fall away jumper.
Good one now. He's got kind of the old school look. He's got a wrap around his left wrist. You see the tape job on the left wrist, just the white tennis shoes. Not a lot of flair from that kid, but man, is he a tremendous shooter.
Are those low tops he has?
That's what I was thinking too. That was where I was going. I was going to have our shoe expert weigh in on that look, as it'll be a miss for UA.
How often do you see someone playing in low tops?
I can't remember the last time. Quick move and a three. Another miss. Julian Whiteside out there with Marion Jackson, Bryson Waller, Sean Christian, and McCray White to start off for Garfield Heights, and Sonny Johnson in his 13th year at the helm of the Bulldogs program. These Golden Bears, they are not hesitant to take any shots. Grabovic misses from the wing.
I'm going to love to see that shark chart at halftime.
It is going to be all over the place. McCray White comes up with the basketball, and he sends it over into the right wing for Sean Christian, the fourth leading scorer last season on a team that featured a pair of Division I recruits in Slick Willie Jackson and Frankie Hughes, who are at Missouri and Louisville this season. And I think, watch out, the slick part of the floor will get you every time. And an offensive foul. You lower the shoulder, lower the boom. If you're Bryson Waller moving forward at 6'9", you're getting called for that foul probably 9 out of 10 times.
And that's something the young sophomore, he's not equipped to handle the ball in the open court like that. Should have gave it up to his guard and then get it right back.
Donovan Forte, who's actually one of 3 transfers
and look,
to Garfield Heights.
His coach is letting him know, get him on it. He's still down there talking to him.
Forte had to sit out the first 11 games along with Leonard Cottrell and Bryson Waller after they transferred into Garfield Heights. That's the OHSAA rule. You have to sit out for half the season.
Coach Johnson stopped yelling at him, looked at the play, then came back and started yelling at him some more.
So 5-4, all 5 for Upper Arlington coming from Goodwin. Excuse me, all 4 coming from Goodwin.
That extra coaching down there on the sideline.
Whether you want it or not. Upper Arlington, a third most trophies in their trophy case in OHSAA history in all the sports combined. They also have some programs that aren't recognized as Goodwin with a highlight reel, little fancy dip and do. That's how you do it. He's got 6, his team's got 6. His team averages 65-1 a game. He has 27 of those 61. Marion Jackson, quick little hiccup move, now inside. Nice pass to Donovan Forte, but he didn't have a lot of room. If he had turned back inside, he would have maybe been able to go to the basket, but it goes as a turnover. Sean Christian's family is not sitting that far away from us, about 6 rows in front to our left. His mom was not very happy about that turnover.
Not at all. Not at all.
So a 6-5 game, already halfway through this first quarter. Good passing and a good head fake, at least to get to the basket for the sophomore and Max Martz. Now Jackson ahead in the front court is going to draw a foul, and he's telling his team, I mean to tell you, he is screaming at Tertius Farmer.
You know, that's one of the things I love about high school sports. You know, the families are usually real close, and the gyms are kind of small, so you can find out very quickly who's related.
It also says on the back of her hooded sweatshirt, Sean Christian's mom. That also made it pretty easy for me to figure out. 2:30 now to go in the first quarter, and Marion Jackson draws the foul. See him with the headband, reminiscent of Frankie Hughes, his teammate from last season who was committed to Louisville. Garfield Heights coming off an 80-55 win on Sunday at Baldwin-Wallace University against Revere. 25 points scored in the first and the fourth quarter by the Bulldogs in that win. Long three from the left wing, rolls in and out and won't go down for Sean Christian. Now he'll get back on the defensive end and stand right in front of Dane Goodwin. Goodwin on the reversal. UA has done a terrific job on the ball reversal in the first quarter, and they've hit their first from behind the arc because of it. Max Martz, a 9-point per game scorer, makes it 9-5. Jackson, he had the screen part of the roll. Forte, however, just wasn't able to pick that up as he threw it above his head.
Led him a little bit too far, but you know, when you're a big man rolling to the basket, you have to always expect the ball. You probably will never get it, but you have to always expect it and go out there and get it.
Got to think one of them guards isn't going to give it up. Goodwin takes the handoff, little stutter step. He playing a two-man game with he and Martz. They're doing a good job screening away from the ball for one another. Goodwin, long stride on the three and knocks it down. He's got 9.
And he only has 27 a game?
Yeah. I said his high is 35. The high in this tournament this weekend is 29.
Looks like he's trying to break that.
Both of those records. He wants to break it, I think, in the first quarter, which is down to just outside of a minute. Solid defense from the Bears. If you haven't figured it out, the Golden Bears named for the Golden Bear Jack Nicklaus. And if you also haven't figured it out, they have a tremendous, tremendous doesn't even do justice to the word golf program that's won a ton of state titles. Here's a little bit of flash from Jordan Bailey. He's not the biggest kid. They list him at 5'10". I think maybe that might be a little high, but he's got handles for days.
Yes, sir.
And he almost came away with he almost stole 2 points. And watch him just saunter back into the open court. 3 in the bottom of the bucket for Sean Christian.
And we know Sean scored because his mom stood up.
She stood up and clapped. He's got 6 of his team's 8. Now, if you look at it on paper, he's not the big scorer. It's Marion Jackson, who had 26 in the win over Revere. Christian wasn't too far behind with 21. It was 4 players, including 2 of the 3 transfers, also in double figures. And when he checks in, I'll tell you a story about a kid from Garfield Heights, but he hasn't checked in yet. Jawan Walker, the junior, into the lineup for Coach Sonny Johnson. Tim Casey got a big applause, the coach at Upper Arlington, when he was announced here. He used to coach at Kettering Fairmont High School.
Okay.
Made it pretty easy. Down to 9 seconds. UA with the runner. Won't go for Grabovic.
Man, it's a quick first quarter.
Yes, it is. 12-8, and here comes the heave from half court. It'll hit the top of the backboard. It'll be no good. An entertaining first quarter. Upper Arlington with a 12-8 lead after 1 here on SUV TV. My Lord.
This just in. To save money, set your water heater to 120 degrees.
Wow, this from the news desk. Open curtains and blinds during the day to let the warm sun in.
This just landed on my desk. Close drapes at night to keep cold air out.
And it's important to take measures to reduce heating costs since 40% of a home's annual bill goes to heating.
This just in. Find these energy and money-saving tips and more at savewithdpl.com.
Before we go, we want to recognize the student athletes of the University of Dayton. Go Flyers! Pow!
Quarter number 2 set to get underway in just a quick second. McCray White, the 6'6 senior, inbounds to Marion Jackson for Garfield Heights. It was a Sean Christian show offensively for Garfield Heights in the first quarter as he hit on a pair of threes and had 6 of the 8 points for the Heights. And a turnover, not what Sonny Johnson wanted to start this quarter. He took a long walk back to his bench. Sonny by himself, Ohio's Mr. Basketball in 1998. Played it collegiately at Ohio University just down the road. Garfield Heights lost to Westerville South, the eventual state champions last season in Division I in the state semis. And there's that kid again. Good one.
He's picking up where he left off at.
His dad's a coach at Capital University. Damon Goodwin, the all-time leading scorer at St. Mary's Memorial High School in Northwest Ohio, and also a heck of a college shooter in his own right.
Ooh, the left. Ooh.
And that's the hardest miss, too, if you're Sean Christian, who, again, is headed to play his college ball at Cleveland State University, because it hung up there and then just wouldn't fall.
You know, the funny thing is, man, I don't even have to see who has the ball. I'll just look over there at Sean's mom. See her stand up now. I know every time he touches the ball, she's on her feet.
She's one of a small army of people here inside the Trent Arena today. Well, we appreciate every single one of them for joining us. You can hear Eric Horseman talk about that coming up at the half of our next game between Prolific Prep and Huntington Prep, a rematch of 3 games from last season, all won by Prolific Prep. Felipe Doherty, the coach out there, does a tremendous job. He sent me a book of stuff. He did not, however, talk about how good Max Martz is, and he's got 6.
And he shot that with a hand in his face, too.
An 8-point lead now. Early on in the quarter, Marion Jackson, I remember him last year. The last couple of years, actually, for Garfield Heights, with the trio that he formed alongside the departed Willie Jackson and Frankie Hughes. You look at him and you look at how he is and his maturity the last couple of years, you say, there's not ever a time where he was a third scorer, right?
Yeah.
He now is taking over this program and trying to leave an indelible mark on his way out. 23-5, the Garfield Heights Bulldogs finished last year. Jackson, straight away, triple, bang. UT cannot wait. Their three-point shooting could use some help.
My goodness. And I'm telling you, look at her hopping the pass.
Maybe the flash and the splash from Jackson. No, he missed the layup.
Gotta
UT
finish
doesn't
that.
want that.
They don't want that.
They got enough of that.
He should have stopped out behind the three-point line. He would have knocked it down.
Sammy Sass with the rebound for Upper Arlington. Again, number 9 in the first AP poll results of the season. The high arcing shot for Martz. I didn't realize it was so unorthodox. The complete ball above the head on the right side like he's doing the crane. And he just misses. Now, ooh, hello. Goodbye, good one. Off the glass, no, but he drew the foul anyways.
This kid is a junior.
Yeah.
He's a junior.
That's why I said I don't know that Thad Mata's going to be there by the time he gets there. Thad's got some issues. And then it brings up that weird thing about, that I know he grew up an Ohio State fan, being right down the road in Columbus, and about his age, about 17 years old, what the Buckeyes did in that time period. But how much is that commitment worth if Thad Mata, I assume the guy who recruits him, isn't there when he gets there?
Then you start to wonder, is it the program or is it the coach? And that's the great thing Ohio State is looking at. I mean, he's an Ohio kid. He's always been an Ohio State fan. So the people at Ohio,
backdoor lob. And I think had the left hand from McCray White not went on the rim, he might have had a shot at throwing that down. Back the opposite way, McCray White and Marion Jackson with the block, and Jackson is probably the most perturbed of the group as he explained, hey, that was supposed to be our highlight reel. And then you didn't get back defensively and had to close out late. Fast-moving first half. Just 7 fouls up on the board. Competitive contest at 19-12. This is one of the games of the weekend when I saw the schedule I was looking forward to. Because both teams are superb at turning steals into points. March trying to create some space down to the baseline. 2 Bulldogs close out. Skip pass across, realized that Jordan Bailey, he knew smarter than, or he knew better than to be smarter and not throw that one away. Now he's on the right wing. He had a quick trailer. And Donovan Forte, and you can hear
you can hear Coach all the way up here. Timeout.
Coach Casey. A timeout, timeout, timeout. That's what he got. It's a full timeout.
Coach Casey's a different shade of red over there.
Oh, sorry. It's a 30-second timeout. So we look at the board. It's 19-12. 19 of those 19 points, 13 have come from Dane Goodwin, one of 3 captains along with Andy Hummer and Justin Whitecomb for Upper Arlington. They have done some damage in the state of Ohio.
Yes. But, you know, I'm just really surprised. Well, not really surprised. I really like the fact that he's a junior, and you see that cool, calm. He's a nice floor leader. You can always tell coaches' sons. You can always tell a kid whose dad is a coach or his dad is a professional, someone who's been around basketball their whole life, man. He plays the game, you know, with the high basketball IQ. I love watching guys like that who know how to play this game.
Well, and watch Marion Jackson, too, because he, coming out of that timeout, looked at his team and was not thrilled as he tried to set him up defensively. Good one. 3. No. Back of the rim. Max March tried to keep it alive. And they'll say it was last touched by Donovan Forte, the 10-point per game transfer.
Turn it around. The referees had a discussion, and they say we'll go the other way.
So Forte wins on that one.
I think the referee on the baseline, he felt that he had a better angle, so they'll go that way.
Well, and Coach Casey agreed with it. When it was explained to him by the official on the bottom side under the basket, he just said, okay. He said, was that really what you said? And it works itself out as the travel comes right back to our left.
As we like to say, the ball don't lie. Eventually it'll correct itself and everything will work its way out.
And it's so funny. The only people that don't agree with that is a select group of coaches. And that's usually whichever 2 coaches have their names on the win-loss record. Not enough went in our favor. Good one, head fake. He's into a little battle with McCray White. And there's Jordan Bailey for 3. Averages 9 a game, as high as 19. He's a good complementary shooter to both Martz and Goodwin. In the corner, Sean Christian. Must not have been that much of a foul. Mama didn't jump up off the bench. 3-on-2 break, and I don't know that Whitecomb, as he missed that, you couldn't have made a case for basket interference.
Yeah, I think he got it off the rim.
That ball was still laying on the back of the rim when McCray White touched it for the first time.
But I think the referee realized it really didn't have any chance of going in, so that's why he may have let it slide. Who knows?
Bryson Waller back in. Remember, the 6'9 sophomore, picked up the foul early, and Sonny Johnson yanked him, and as Sly pointed out, had a heated discussion with him twice because he turned around to yell at his team and then came back to yell at him for picking up the kind of ticky-tack foul at midcourt.
Once again, they were probably talking about dinner arrangements for tonight. Wanted to figure out where everybody was going to eat.
Good one.
Then he wanted to talk to his. Then he wanted to talk to his team. Then he came back and told them where they were going to eat tonight. That's all.
Goodwin gave up an opportunity at an open 3. Player from both sides just touched the ball while it was out of bounds.
Yeah.
It ends up going out of bounds on the redirect.
You know, it should have been a jump ball. But it works out because the possession hour was down here anyway. So,
again, ball don't lie. It evens out.
It always evens out.
Goodwin, spin move, fall away with the right hand. And there's the height. It's the big guy who comes right back down with it in Waller.
And that's what he got in trouble with last time, bringing the ball up court.
And he's in the post, and he is frustrated as he's got a significant size advantage on Max Martz. It's 3 inches, but just look how long his arms are. He was reaching out, and he was way above Waller's head with his elbow. Jackson will back it out, coming up on 2:15 to go in a rapidly moving first half. Active hands.
He has to watch that pick. He's sticking that hip out on that pick.
Grabovic tried to knock it away, but it comes right back to Marion Jackson. Jackson now from the free throw line, skips one across. Nice pass inside to McCray White. The assist to Jalen Thomas. Good news, or a good thing, one of the graduates for Garfield Heights yesterday, Braun Hartfield, 19.7 rebounds for a solid Youngstown State squad that has been doing some damage out in the area. And again, one of the best mascots, a red, white, and black penguin. Good one from downtown Cleveland. Bang.
Everybody in the gym knew that was good.
He skipped Columbus. He went all the way to Cleveland to throw that one up. 25-14. He's got 2 more points than does this entire opponent's team. That kid is special.
Yes, sir.
He's halfway to being the highest scorer in this contest. 119 as Forte comes back in off Sonny Johnson's bench. Trying to get Marion Jackson in the corner, maybe come back up on a switch. Sean Christian setting the screen. Oh, they thought they had a shot at Jackson back to the right. They chose to go inside, did the Bulldogs, and that drew Mama's ire. Under a minute to go in the first. It's been all Upper Arlington. There's a chess match with Goodwin and Marion Jackson going on underneath. Both are bumping as they see Goodwin, or Bailey rather, come in. Goodwin tried to chase the rebound. Back to Sean Christian. He throws it out of control, and the baseball player for Charleston, College of Charleston in the future, comes up with a steal.
You got to hold that one up, man. You got to hold up. So he didn't have numbers. You got to set up your offense so you can live to fight another day.
And maybe a little bit of the maturity of a junior there, going from a junior to a senior. 16 seconds to go in the half. Andy Hummer, the senior, averaging 4 points a game with it. Gets it inside. That jumper barely drew the rim, but Martz chased it anyway. 6 seconds to go. Here's Christian for 3. No, off the back of the rim, and Goodwin didn't. He just turned and flung the ball. 25-14 at the break in favor of the Upper Arlington Golden Bears here on SUV TV.
Every day is another beginning. Gonna make my move, gonna live my dream. Gonna make my move, gonna live my dream. Gonna make my move, gonna live my dream.
Start of quarter number 3 here at the Trent Arena. Upper Arlington leading on the scoreboard 25-14. Mike and Sly back. This is the middle of a handful of great games that culminate later on tonight with Dayton Dunbar taking on Covington Catholic. And now Zach Fleer from 270 Hoops talked about earlier on. You've got to be impressed. I should rephrase that. I am impressed with Goodwin. You have probably got to the point where this is just old hat.
Absolutely. You know, I've been watching Dane since before his freshman season, you know, when he was offered by Ohio State. So, you know, seeing his development, especially last year, he kind of broke onto the scene there in the district tournament, leading UA to a district title, and then he's just taking it to another level. He's leading all the big schools in Columbus in scoring right now, just under 28 points per game.
Now, if you look at him, my thought was during the first half about he's only a junior, and about how if Thad's even going to be there at the point when he gets there with the struggles that the Buckeyes are having right now. Is that a program that, because he's a Columbus kid, he's fully committed to, or that's dependent on maybe if Thad is there?
I think he'll be fully committed to Ohio State. You know, he lives in Upper Arlington. Upper Arlington is literally 0.5 miles from the Ohio State University campus. He works out there all the time, in season, out of season. So I think he'll be a Buckeye regardless of what the program's future looks like. And I think he's a kid that's going to stick around, you know, regardless of, you know, if Thad stays or not.
Well, it's almost ridiculous, the amount of success that not only the basketball program the last handful of years, obviously with Tim Casey at the helm, but the entire program. I mean, there's Goodwin with another basket. Over 117 titles in every sport. They're good at everything. Golf, I got to do them last year in a water polo final, and it didn't even surprise me that, oh, hey, here's Upper Arlington again.
Yeah, you know, that I like to joke around. Ohio State only has 4 more varsity sports than Upper Arlington High School has. It's a great community. I actually live in Upper Arlington, so I'm around the school all the time. It's a great place to be, a great place to live, work, and, you know, raise children. So it's no surprise that they get good kids, and, you know, they have athletic kids that, you know, buy in, and they win a lot here. And they send kids to the Division I level, Division II level. So it's no surprise to see them, you know, once again among the top 5 to 7 teams in the Columbus area. And, you know, they'll be right there in March for a district title, and then, you know, maybe even going further than that.
Is that a realistic thing you see for them going forward with how good Goodwin is? As he unleashes another 3, is a district, a regional maybe, and then down the road at the Schottenstein Center in March?
Yeah, I think they'll be right there. Definitely, I have them as one of my 4 picks to win the district title there in the Columbus region. It's going to be tough. You know, teams like Pickerington Central and Newark are the top dogs in Division I, along with Westerville South, who won the state championship last year. But UA, you know, you can't sleep on them. Tim Casey's a terrific coach. His guys are always ready to play, and they play defense, and that's, you know, that wins games in March, along with guard play with guys like Dane Goodwin, Jordan Bailey, Andy Hummer. They have good guard play, so I think they'll be, you know, one of the top challenges there in Columbus come March.
Well, as the timeout comes 2 minutes into the third, you just told me kind of a fascinating story, a long story about Max Martz. Not only how good he is, hit the 2 threes in the first quarter, but it's kind of neat how everything works its way back around.
Absolutely. You know, Max's dad, big-time player at Nebraska back in the day, so Max is already getting some early interest. Nebraska's head coach, Tim Miles, has even watched him, you know, at Upper Arlington earlier in the open gym season, and then he has a Division I offer from Western Carolina. And, you know, a funny tidbit about Western Carolina, they have a freshman, Ano Steger, that played at Upper Arlington last year, and then Upper Arlington's head coach, he actually coached Tim Casey, Upper Arlington's head coach in college at Wittenberg at Division III level. So there's a lot of connections there, and that's kind of a program that has kind of, you know, set its feet in Upper Arlington, and they're really paying attention to the talent that the Golden Bears have.
Tim Casey must have bags by the door. It seems like he has been a little bit of everywhere, obviously starting here at Fairmont and then ending up in Columbus.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Tim went to Upper Arlington, played for Upper Arlington, so he's a guy, he loves his position there at that school, and he's won big. So I think the future for Upper Arlington basketball is really bright. You know, guys like Dane and Max, who are so underclassmen, not seniors yet, and they even got some talented freshmen and sophomore in the pipelines, you know, waiting for their chance to shine.
All right, now me being an outsider, me being a guy from down south from Atlanta, I don't know too much about that area, that Columbus area. And you spoke a little bit earlier about that you had your top 4 teams. Now, can you tell me a little bit about those other teams besides Upper Arlington? who are going to challenge for that district title?
Yeah, right now, there's 4 districts. Columbus is so big; it's actually the 16th largest city in the country. And
wow!
It's another 3,
and that is where he left that shot from.
Yes, he shot that. He shot that from High Street.
I'm just using up all my Columbus references for where he's taking this at.
But yeah, Columbus is just a growing region. The population's booming. The economy's really good. The job market is really good. It's a place for young and old people to move to. So that kind of feeds into athletics. You get a lot of athletic kids. You get good parents. You get good households and stuff like that. But speaking of the top 4 to 5 teams, Pickerington Central, who played here last night against Wheeler in Georgia. Guys like Sterling Manley, who's committed or signed to North Carolina. Jeremiah Francis, guys that they have on that roster are really good. And then you have Newark, Westerville South that won the Division I state title last year. And then
Caleb Weston's a pretty good player.
Yes, he had 43 the other night at the Burger King Classic. It actually broke the record for that event that Tim Thomas had set some 20 years ago.
Wow.
So Columbus is really booming with talent. Pickerington North that you guys just watched, Jerome Hunter, big-time player, had 28 and 19 points this last game. So it's going to be a battle in March. I'm really looking forward to the regional tournament, once the districts are, once those teams win it, and then just to see who comes out of the area.
Well, that's amazing. Oh. That's amazing. Those teams you just named and those players, it seems like I can take an all-star team from that Columbus area. I can go anywhere I want.
You can pick a couple all-star teams. And Max Martz might be on your three-point shooting roster as he knocks down another and makes it a 36-14 margin. A little bit of a slowdown. You've kind of reached a point where if you look at it, Garfield Heights does not have a shot that's gone in yet from this period. They missed 2 from the free throw line. That's their only opportunity. Sean Christian trying to change that. See his mom jumps out of the stands. It's been a recurring theme, and I love that little hop step. Oh, see which way they call that.
No basket.
I think players from both teams ended up touching it, but Jordan Bailey, my oh my. I mean, for a kid that's probably just going to end up playing baseball, he's got one heck of a crossover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he could play. He actually transferred into Upper Arlington from Kitten Ridge, out in the Springfield area. So he's a big addition for this team. They kind of needed a dynamic point guard that can move the ball and facilitate. So he's been that for them. And he's really, adjusted, and he's played at a high level for them this year. And he's been that, third scorer they've needed behind a good one in Martz. And I think he's going to play a huge role in this team because he can also defend, too. He's done a great job on Marion Jackson tonight. So that's a player to watch out for Upper Arlington that a lot in this area in Columbus really don't know about because where he came from.
Jackson, we talked about him. He went to the ground sort of favoring his ankle, was able to get back up, but he misses the free throw. So 0 for 3. Sonny Johnson's crew from the line here in, again, a fast-moving third quarter. This game might be over with like an hour to spare for the next one.
I'm telling you, this was a quick game. It seems like that first quarter, we put our head down and then we came back up, and now first quarter's over with.
Yeah, I think that, unfortunately, Garfield Heights might have tried that too, and Dane Goodwin hit 4 shots in the first quarter. In a span of, I don't know, about 60 seconds, it felt like. You run the highlight reel back, you're going to have to slow it down. Good give and go, and people, I've heard people say, oh, Goodwin, it's a lot of hype on it, just being a jump shooter, but
nope.
How good was he on that assist, and he set up Martz perfectly.
Like Dane Goodwin's, his three-point shot is what got him the interest in the offer from Ohio State early on, but he's got that whole game, and he doesn't get enough credit as, a rebounder, a defender, a guy that just knows how to play, and his will to win is second to none. He comes to compete every single night, and the kid hates losing. Whether we're playing badminton or golf or anything, I'm taking Dane Goodwin to win that.
But you know what I love about him? He has 24 points, and it was 3 minutes, 42 seconds to go in the third quarter, and it doesn't look like he rushed anything. He's not being a selfish player. It doesn't look like he wanted everything to come to me. He's just playing in the flow of the game, and he has 24.
Yeah, he's a kid. He knows how to play. His dad's obviously the head coach, Division III Capital University in Columbus. So the kid he understands how to play. He makes a great pass there in transition to Will Grabovec. So all around, he knows how to play. And then he's just a kid that I love to watch because everything looks like it's so easy for him because he gets it. He's got a great feel.
It's a 15-1 run to open the quarter, and I don't think the Golden Bears are done yet. They have just they've made it look easy. It's that extra pass anytime that Garfield Heights gets anywhere remotely close to the basket, other than the one free throw that Jackson himself earned by getting fouled on his way. They've had an answer. They just step right in front, not doing anything flashy, just like that, just keeping plays alive as Goodwin is mugged on his way to the basket.
Yeah, UA, they make you work. They defend at a high level, and, you know, if you don't score more than 45 points, you're probably not going to beat them, and it's been that case for the last 3 years with this program.
Which, again, if you look at the numbers, which I might have gotten off 270hoops.com, they average 44 and a half given up a game. And Goodwin, I imagine he's a pretty good free throw shooter as well.
Yeah, he shoots about 90% from the line.
See, there you go. Is there anything that he fails at?
Not really. He even plays golf, and he's one of the best golfers in Central Ohio, and that obviously won't be his future, but if he ever needs a backup plan,
right,
he could make a living on the green.
I mean, most of the most famous basketball players in the world have done that from time to time. And he's now got 26 in the game. He's just a couple of points away from being the weekend's highest scorer.
Hopefully his swing's a little bit better than Charles Barkley. You know,
right.
We were talking about him a little bit earlier.
Or Shaq. Or mine. That's just terrible. Just a couple of minutes to go here. Zach Fleer from 270hoops.com, and it's a great website if you want to learn about basketball in the city of Columbus and you want to see any of these Columbus teams. And overall, they fared well in this event. Maybe not necessarily in the last contest, but you got to give it to Pickerington North. They could have laid down when St. Vincent went on their run in the third to push it to 12. Didn't, and then came away just down at the end by 8.
Yeah, Pick North's a tough team. They're never going to give up. And as Jerome Hunter has continued to evolve and mature as a player, they've just gotten to be that much better. And, you know, Hunter's really taken that next step as a prospect this year. He's basically getting recruited by the entire Big Ten, you know, with offers from Michigan, Ohio State. Purdue really likes him a lot too. So it's just the who's who of, you know, prospects in Columbus right now. Even Jordan Mitchell from Gahanna in the first game this morning, the talented sophomore with, you know, offers from Ohio State and Florida and Xavier and schools like that. So it's a great time to be in Columbus and to be able to be at the center of that, you know, cover the high school basketball in Central Ohio. That's a blessing, and, you know, we love what we do at 270 Hoops.
And, you know, one thing I can say, it was a great learning lesson, though, for Pickerington Central when they played Wheeler. You know, Wheeler, one of the top teams in the nation, and Wheeler didn't run them out the gym. And then you had the young sophomore. He played a tough game, man. And, you know, that's a great learning lesson. Even though your big man Sterling didn't quite do what you wanted to, but he was playing against three potential All-Americans down there. So it kind of hurts when you got that type of talent on the other side of the court.
Yeah, for Pickerington Central, I thought that was the test that they needed because they've had more talent than every team they've played this year, and in that game against Wheeler, that wasn't the case. So I think in those type of games, you find out a lot about some of the deficiencies that your guys have that, you know, may not be exposed against other competition. So for them, you know, that being their first loss, I think it's going to be good for them. I think they're going to benefit from that, and they're going to be better from here on out because they're not going to face another team as good as Wheeler.
And Goodwin almost made something out of nothing. Gets his own rebound, and he'll get a chance to pick up point 27 and 28 from the line. And just you can tell, I guarantee he's probably one of the hardest workers in Columbus. You can just see it in his game that he's in the gym, is one of those kids where it's not just, all right, shooting. It's maybe throw it off the backboard, see where it goes, because he's got a knack for how that ball is coming off the rim.
Yeah, that, and, you know, like I mentioned earlier, he works out at Ohio State all the time. So he's training with guys like Evan Turner, Jared Solinger, you know, even Mike Conley comes back a lot. So he's playing with those guys and Ohio State's current guys. So, you know, it's different from, you know, if he's playing at an open gym at Upper Arlington where he's, you know, by far the best player in the gym. He's playing with guys at Ohio State all the time, and that reflects in his game because he's got a mature style with the way he plays.
But you got to help me out, though. You got to help me out, Zach. Why is the kid wearing low tops?
Hey, he's old school. He wears the same shoes he wears on the golf course. So that's
there you go.
Just takes the spikes
out. He just screws in the spikes. It's good.
I'll ask you because with his dad being from St. Mary's, being a Northwest Ohio kid myself, he had some health issues. He's doing better now, I hear, right?
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better. He's resumed, head coaching duties at Capital because Andy Winters was the interim coach for Capital last season when Damon was diagnosed, but he is doing better now, and he has taken over, head coaching duties again for Capital. And, we continue to pray that, he continues to recover and, returns back to normal.
I know anytime that I'm around Capital or Upper Arlington, I get a lot of people from home saying, hey, if you see Damon, tell him we miss him in St. Mary's. I think he's got a lot of things going on.
He's got a lot on his plate right now. All-American son, going to Ohio State, and then, coaching that Capital program, which is one of the best in D3 in Ohio. And, that's a program that I have close connections with. I talk to them quite a bit. So it's a great program he's running over there.
A run of points for Marion Jackson. The first 2 makes coming from the field for Garfield Heights in this quarter. It's 46-19 as we hit the final 30 seconds of this quarter. Bailey now has to go high to get it. Here is the 3. Woo. Oh, halfway down and back out. Whitecomb tips it. Fans are on their feet. That one would have been 30. I said I was kind of confused. It made me laugh that I read that he averages 27, so he's right at his average, but his high is only 35. I expected, I guess, a bigger separation between those two.
Well, they've blown out a lot of the teams they've played, so he hasn't been able to play the entire game on all of the contests. But his best performance that I've seen, at least from him this year, saw him against Westerville Central earlier on in the season. He had 33 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists, and actually scored Upper Arlington 26 of their last 28 points in that game and led them to a win in overtime. So that was the best performance I've seen, but he's at least, scoring anywhere from 25 to 30 a game. Obviously tonight with 27 already. If he gets to play the fourth quarter, he'll probably, increase that average.
Sean Christian from deep range makes Mama happy with 10 at the end of the third. Zach Fleer, thank you so much for joining us in this quarter, and best luck to you guys as we get closer to the road to Columbus in March.
All right, I'll hopefully be seeing you guys again at the state tournament. I appreciate it, and keep doing what you guys are doing.
270hoops.com is the website address. Zach has been so kind to join us for a quarter. We head to the fourth. It's a 46-22 Upper Arlington lead here on SUV TV.
My name is Eric Horseman, and I'm president of Sports Image and the Premier Health Flyin to the Hoop Invitational Basketball Tournament. Omnisphere has been with us since year one. They've been an integral part of helping to grow both of our businesses. Everything from website development to IT needs as far as networking and any problem solving in social media blogging. It's kind of nice having everything under one roof because any kind of problem that we bring them, they've been able to find a solution on time and very cost effectively. One other aspect of Omnisphere that I really like is the personal attention that I always feel. Anytime I call their office, whether it's a new idea that we have or a need that we might have, I feel like I get that personal attention from Brad or anybody else in the office.
Four of 7 today, and the Upper Arlington Golden Bears pushed a 25-14 halftime lead out to a 46-22. I say huge advantage right now. I mean, the way that they have played, the style that they have played, you kind of don't believe that Garfield Heights, unfortunately, will even get to 44 points, the average that Upper Arlington gives up. But I give it to the Bulldogs. They're not giving up as Bryson Waller, the 6'9" sophomore, tracks one out of bounds.
You know, it says a lot about your team. You know, if you have a quitter's mentality when you're down and you're going to take an obvious L, but yet you can stick it out and still try to fight hard all the way to the end, man. That's what you want out. That's what you want out of your team. You want that out of. They have, 14, 15, 16-year-old guys. That's what you want out of them. Fight all the way to the end.
Garfield Heights, again, lost to the state champs in Westerville South. Ohio State University bound Caleb Wesson had a monster game. I think he had 26 and 13, if I remember right, in that state semifinal. Just sitting there in Columbus at the Schottenstein Center watching that kid work. I tell you what, we talk about how good Dane Goodwin is going to be. Mm-hmm. He's got a year left. Wesson is headed there after this year. And he probably will get some playing time as a true freshman.
Timeout over there. Then once again, I'm going to bring out the old man shaking his fist at the kids on the yard. I hate it when the coach can bail you out. Not a fan of the coach bailing you out in that situation.
So you're a fan of the college rule where college coaches can not call a timeout from the bench now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's the only thing about college men's basketball that I like. I love the college women's game a lot better
it's
than
4 quarters now?
It's 4 quarters, shorter shot clock. The college women have figured it out. As soon as they learn how to dunk, that'll be it.
Golden Bears, number 10 in MaxPreps.com and the JJ Huddle Big School. Terrific top 20 state poll. That is a mouthful. Max Martz, a sophomore who you heard. That's kind of a neat little roundabout story that Zach told about how he and his coach and his dad are connected.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Golden Bears have finished as 2-time state finalists. They won a title in 1937, went back in 2014, and tell you what, I see a lot of solid progress in this squad from having seen them once last year in the tournament. They are definitely trending in the right direction. When the state tournament comes up in the last week in March here in Ohio, there's a pretty good chance you're going to see Upper Arlington at the top of that bracket. The jumper for Max Martz. Martz had to make a quick decision about whether he wanted to try and thread the needle inside. He chose not to go to Will Grabovic. And here comes Goodwin in the open court, looked off his man in Sean Christian, but the Cleveland State signee will pick up the foul.
And that's what you want, attack the basket, get that foul, and knock down those easy free throws. That's how you add to that those offensive numbers and you break scoring records.
27 now. Make it 28. That breaks the tie with Javon Graves for the second highest total this weekend. And that was set just in the last game. Goodwin's first point of the fourth quarter. And he goes 2 for 2.
Who had the highest this weekend?
It would be the last game when Jerome Hunter dropped 29.
Yes.
The exact total that Goodwin has with 6:33 to play. So he's above his average of 27. His high of 35 is in sight. But you get the question of what Zach Fleer talked about how how much longer is he going to be in the game. It's a 50-22 advantage. Sean Christian for 3. That's all he does right now.
Mm-hmm.
He has hit 4 from behind the arc, and he's got 13 total.
I had my head down when he shot the shot, but I didn't even have to look up. I just saw his mom stand.
You just heard Mama.
I heard Mama, so I knew exactly who scored.
Coach Casey is trying to explain to his troops, hey, spread it out, slow it down. I didn't even get a chance to talk about yet. There's a kid that is my favorite. Has a layup missed by Andy Hummer. Not only Sammy Sass, which I think is a terrific basketball name. Christian from way downtown. Off the back of the rim. That's the you can't get here from their part of town. You get lost trying to go down the highway. Ball stolen away, and it is Andy Hummer who helps facilitate it, and here comes the layup from Max Martz. I think the fans wanted something else, a little more flashy.
They wanted a little showtime.
He's got 16. His high is 20.
Well, if they stick around long enough, this next game coming up, they'll see some showtime.
Jackson misses on the layup. So just 3 points in this quarter, and those come from Sean Christian for Garfield Heights. That is a big man in Donovan Forte, a 6'7" transfer junior to Garfield Heights. Camped out in the middle of the lane. Goodwin looking. Finds it. 31.
He spun into the double team, and then he spun back around where no one was there.
He's the weekend's leading scorer with 31. He is not, to my knowledge, not even close to the tournament's leading scorer all time, as Sean Christian,
What's the tournament leading score?
I would be willing to bet it was a couple of years ago that Duke forward Luke Kennard from just down the road in Franklin. He hit, I think he hit like 31 of 33 from the free throw line. So I think he had 43 or 45. I'll look it up. Luckily, if you come here to Flyin to the Hoop, you can buy one of these fancy programs for the low price of $5. Out ahead, here comes Slamma-Jamma. Who else but the Ohio State commit in Dane Goodwin? 33. Wow.
Not only can he do it from far away, he can do it from up close, too.
He put a charge into this crowd. Marion Jackson trying to do the same nifty little move for 2. He started with a bang. He's now kind of a little quieter, has 12, and the ball thrown at the announcer. When they listed this game in the program, they had it as one of the last Ohio matchups. Upper Arlington made the Final Four, and a Garfield Heights team contending for a state title is how it was written up. Jackson wanted the step back. Sean Christian about 30 feet from the basket. Comes in a couple feet, takes the 3. Who's there for the rebound? You know who. Goodwin. And a turnover. Here comes Marion Jackson in the open court. He'll stop, pop. Shot won't go, and a miss from Julian Whiteside. He wanted to go on Tip Back City. I didn't get a chance to talk about this, and I don't know if he'll get in, but I found this kind of fascinating for Garfield Heights. Leonard Cottrell, a transfer from John Hay High School. He won a dunk contest back in October. Yael Hill, who we saw have a terrific opening earlier on, had a nice dunk on a fast break. He was involved too. So if you get the chance to watch Garfield Heights play and see just how good Leonard Cottrell is, headed to Monroe Community College, go and watch them.
I don't think he dressed out tonight.
I don't think he did.
That'll go in.
So 56-30 on the foul.
I think that may be him down there on the end.
Well, again, is what I talked about earlier on about the transfer rules in the state of Ohio do not allow a transfer to play for the first 11 games.
Oh, okay.
And that's a big thing of why exactly it might be him on the end of the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Free throw good for Sammy Sass. Missed on the second opportunity. 3 minutes and 2 seconds from the end of this contest. And then the foul will keep the ball with the Golden Bears. A lot of famous alumni that have gone to Upper Arlington High School. Wendy, Melinda Lou Thomas. And the original Wendy's is in Columbus, if you don't know that.
I had no idea.
If you haven't been to Columbus lately, it's actually in Dublin, but close enough.
You said Wendy. I'm like, Wendy, who is Wendy?
Wendy from Wendy's. Dave Thomas's daughter, Melinda Lou.
Oh, wow.
Beverly D'Angelo from the Vacation series.
Yes.
And also, like I talked about, the Golden Bear himself, Jack Nicklaus.
It's nice when your former high school can name the mascot after you.
Right. Yeah, that always works out. Sean Christian with the free throw. He is 2 out of 3, make it 3 out of 4.
We're waiting on Mount St. Mary's, St. Francis St. Mary's to name them instead of the Irish, the LeBrons.
The Fighting LeBrons, St. Vincent St. Mary, yeah. The Akron St. Vincent St. Mary Fighting LeBrons. I guarantee you're not the first person to say that. Probably not the last one that will make that assertion either.
Keeps on donating and upgrading the facilities. It'll happen.
Keeps on winning titles in Cleveland. They might name the whole area after him.
Name the whole Cleveland area after
Welcome
LeBron.
Northeast LeBron. Tell you what, though, hats off to what the Cavs and the Indians have done in the last year or so for the community in Northeast Ohio. It's just tremendous. I was in Cleveland the night that the Golden State Warriors lost and blew their 3-1 lead, which apparently this is a trending thing on Twitter, I'm told.
The most hilarious thing ever. You take any other random number, you break down
you can break it down to 3-1.
And then it says Golden State blew a 3-1 lead.
There's 2-3-1 left now on the scoreboard. As you know, you read it in a different order.
and it'll tell you Golden State blew a 3-1 lead.
Neither free throw goes down. Jackson up and under, won't go. Here comes the rebound. UA's got a chance to do something highlight worthy as they get back with a 3-on-3 to the basket, and ping pongs one home. I used to call it a Plinko one home as Andy Hummer. Jackson, spot up, triple, no, has not had it going how he's used to, and he's had open opportunities, just can't get these shots to fall.
You know, sometimes they just don't fall. And then a lot of times with these kids, you know, this will be their first time. A lot of them don't play in the arenas like this, so it takes a while to get used to that backdrop.
And that's a big thing about usually with the state tournament. When you go to the Schottenstein Center, it's such a big atmosphere. There's no backdrop. Here, at least you have the fans about 5 or 6 feet off the end of the court. But, yeah, it's so interesting how you can take the best shooter in the world, and the first time you take them out of, you know, you're used to seeing the Go Team banners on the back or whatever it is, things just change. Andy Hummer now with the free throw. He's got 3. Jalen Thomas in for Garfield Heights.
You know, it's I'm originally born and raised in Columbia, South Carolina. It was a pretty good basketball team by the name of Eau Claire High School. Eau Claire won about 5 championships in 7 years. That's the school Jermaine O'Neal went to. And their coach, Coach Glimp, one of the greatest coaches in South Carolina history, what he decided to do, the first year they went to the state championship, they could not shoot. They totally missed everything that night at the old Carolina Coliseum. So what he decided to do, Coach Glimp got the art class to paint the backdrop behind on both ends of the gym in like a 3D picture, so it looks like they were shooting in a crowd behind them. And they made it to the state championship the next year and won by 35.
61-34. Goodwin looking for 35. He'll have to do it from the line, as the same young man in Donovan Forte, who just picked up 2 points on the defensive end, or on the offensive end rather, gets the foul for number 3 on the defensive end. So Goodwin at the line. He's missed just twice in 9 attempts previous. He does not here, and he can tie his season high with his next free throw of 35. Oh, and he missed.
We heard you talking about
So the pressure from one away, it was dead silent when he took it too. And he gets a well-deserved round of applause from this capacity crowd in the Trent Arena, including pretty much all the staff here at SUV TV.
Yes, sir.
Again, well-deserved for the show that he put on. You go back and you just look at what he did. He had 3 straight baskets in the first, hit a 3, ends up hitting 4 threes en route to 34 points. Garfield Heights has not had an answer. As it'll be Nate Helsted, a 6'2" junior, turns over the basketball into the open court, flying. Aiden missing the layup is Jalen Thomas, a 6'1" senior, and have hit the final 40 seconds as Helsted takes it up front, pitches it over to Casey Jones. Not the guy from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I found out. I was kind of mad about that.
Go and get him a hockey
Not even
mask.
the new one. He's not. I think it was Judd Nelson. Didn't work out.
Go and get him a hockey mask and see how he looks.
62-34, final 10 seconds. That might be where it'll stay. And it will be. Upper Arlington picks up win number 12 on the season. They drop Garfield Heights to 9-3 behind a tournament weekend high. 34 points for Ohio State commit Dane Goodwin. We'll take a break here as we have about 25 minutes before we start our next contest. And it's going to be a good one. Get your popcorn, call your friends, bring them over, forget about the football game. Just get ready. Prolific Prep and Huntington Prep when we come back here on SUV TV.